We welcome Lee Smith. He is the new executive director of the Players. Lee, welcome in. Now, I know you've already been on the Friends show. That doesn't count.
Yeah,
this is XL Primetime.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay,
I like that.
So we welcome you in, and Stewie gets to go in the morning and do the drill, but we're going to be hanging out with you on Thursdays, which is the first day of competition on the PGA Tour schedule every week, so it'll be fun looking at the leaderboard. But I know you've answered this question 1,000 times, but how excited are you to man this ship? Because it's a big ship.
Yeah, it's super exciting, and I think it also combines with a little bit of nerves, a little bit of anxiety, and certainly excitement, all three ramping up. We're, as you mentioned, 5 weeks from the first round, so we're excited, putting all the pieces together that we've prepared for, year round, and ready to go.
I mentioned to somebody in the building, oh, yeah, Lee's coming in today, and they looked at me, and they're like, wait, who's Lee? Is that a baseball player? And I said, no, actually, he is now taking over for Jared Rice as the executive director of the Players. So for those of our nooners, as we like to call them, Lee, our listeners who may not be familiar, kind of walk us through your career path that got you to here.
Yeah, I mean, my name often gets confused with the one of the career save leaders, but I usually don't. So I've worked for the tour for about 20 years total, and have worked more on our facilities side of the business, club operations. So actually started at TPC Scottsdale, where the event is this week. Worked one event out there, and that was plenty. That was a fun, enjoyable time, but moving on was also a good thing. So then worked at TPC Summerlin in Las Vegas, lived in Las Vegas for about 10 years. TPC Sugarloaf in Atlanta, and actually moved down here last June from Liberty National. Was the GM up at Liberty National in Jersey City.
Yeah, which is the FedEx Cup playoffs.
All right, so what shock are you expecting from this tournament? Like you personally, that you couldn't imagine was like that this tournament will be so much different than all the others.
Yeah, having worked for the tour for 20 years and hosted, say, 16 or 17 events between Shriners and Waste Management and the Northern Trust up at Liberty National, the community and the surrounding area, ownership and passion and just pure love for this event, unrivaled, is certainly something totally different anywhere. I'd tell the story of when we first came down looking to rent a house, and the real estate agent said once she said, or we told her we worked for the PGA Tour and the Players, she said, "Oh, we love the tour and we love the Players." Yeah. And I said, "Oh, you play golf?" And she goes, "Nope, never played golf in my life, but we love the tour and we love the Players." And I think that speaks volumes to to the passion and the investment that this community has in the event.
I can say this, having grown up in New Jersey, I'm not sure there's that sort of knowledge, let alone admiration in North Jersey, with all due respect to the event up there.
No, you're exactly right. I've used the punchline a couple times that, having known the communal spirit and kind of neighborly way of Northeast Florida is apparent when you move down here. It's probably even more apparent when you move from New Jersey.
Yeah, it's classic. It's classic. Now, we're talking with Lee Smith. He'll be our regular guest leading up to the Players, executive director of the Players. Got a great giveaway that we will have before we end today. We got the Goldman Trophy, which is also on display on YouTube, so you guys can check that out there. And just going back to every single year we go, we see a lot of the same volunteers. We see a lot of the same people that have been either working side by side with the tournament group, and it really is a testament. This is a worldwide stage, yet this North Florida area, with all their thousands of volunteers, they make it seem like it is kind of that everyday tournament on the PGA Tour.
It is, and maybe two data points that back that up. First, from a global standpoint, is last year's event, there was 51 million hours consumed worldwide of the broadcast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So a 51 million hour commercial for Northeast Florida, Ponte Vedra, all of that is really awesome. And from a volunteer standpoint, we have about 2,000 volunteers that really take, again, passion and ownership in the event. When our returning volunteer application went online and went live, we had 800 volunteers fill it out in the first 36 minutes to return to the event. So to we couldn't do it without them. 66,000 hours that they serve the event. So it's a passion project for them, and to now that we're celebrating our 50th anniversary, as you know, this year, and to speak to the volunteers that have a legacy-driven piece of this event from parent to child to grandchild is an amazing thing also.
What was your knowledge of Northeast Florida before you moved here?
Having worked for the tour for as long as I have, obviously I knew that was here. But quite frankly, I'd visited. I've come to the event 4 or 5 times, maybe over that 20 years. Our first, I think, head professional conference here was in the old clubhouse, as compared to what the new one is. But as far as the surroundings, it was stay at the Marriott, go to the conference, go back to the Marriott, stay. And so just having been here now 8 months, went to all the Jags games, had a blast doing that and following them, and went to a couple shrimp games this past summer. And it's been enjoyable getting to restaurants and just meeting a bunch of people. It's been fantastic so far. I was told the way of life here is so much better than most places that I've been, and that certainly has exceeded that expectation.
Where are we, 34 days right now? 33?
We are 35 exactly
35.
from first round. Yeah,
35.
we're 33
Wow.
from
33 from
gates
the
open from
concert.
Military Appreciation Day.
Yeah, nice. All right. Wow, it's crazy. So you look at this tournament. You've been to all the other tournaments, and every year prior to you coming here, you know what happens with the players and everything. Every year prior to coming here, we'd ask Jared, "Well, what you got on Tiger Woods? Will or won't he?" So we see what Tiger's doing now. He's slowly ramping up. What's your gut on Tiger Woods?
Well, since you mentioned Jared, I always like to throw a little barb at Jared. We share an office wall, and I continue to question his intelligence. We're celebrating 50 years this year, and he oversaw the 42nd through the 49th. Like, nobody's ever going to remember that. Like, the people are going to remember
Everybody's
the 50th.
remembering 50.
That's right.
Handed the baton.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, with Tiger, certainly his announcement yesterday to commit to Genesis and his event is an exciting thing for the PGA Tour. Certainly to see him out there and move the needle like he does, or being the needle like he is, that's certainly an exciting thing. For the Players Championship, we want him to play well. We want him to recover properly after each round.
Right.
Those types of things. I think certainly that him playing there and what comes out of that will speak volumes to the opportunity.
So you'll know more then, basically.
I think so.
Yeah,
and obviously using his words of wanting to play once a month. There's only 4 or 5 events in March, so there's a pretty good opportunity just using his words. But like anything that you prepare for, I mean, we prepare for that. We prepare for him being here. There's a lot of moving parts, from security to retail to a lot of those types of things that you need to prepare for. For him being here, because he does create a ton of eyeballs and a ton of interest.
Yeah, because if you just basically look at the calendar, and a 30-day window for him to step back onto the PGA Tour is perfect with this event he hosts, the Players, which is roughly a month out from Augusta, and then a month away from the PGA, and then on down the line. The other places, he's won at Arnold Palmer a ton, but that comes 3 weeks after the Genesis, and then the Players obviously fits on the calendar perfectly. I hope. But I know the one message you want to let everybody know, no matter whether he's here or not, you're going to have a world-class field.
Absolutely. We always talk about, and we'll continue to pound the gavel about having the strongest field in golf. 144 players from top to bottom. That 144th player will be ranked higher than the 144th player in any other event. Mm-hmm. And just the other day we were looking at it, and 95% of our field will be fully exempt on the PGA Tour or on the DP World Tour, and there's just no other event that can speak to that.
Speaking of events, a bit of a breaking news, a bit of a that, if you
Oh,
may,
that?
as
Let's go with that.
we like to call it. Get ready for this, Lee. Go for it.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The first round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open suspended due to unplayable conditions at 12:32 p.m. Have you seen some of the clips so far this morning coming out of it?
I have, and I must say I have I share a pillow with the lady that does all the on-site retail for the PGA Tour. So actually spoke to her on the way out here.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how
you are referring to your wife.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They had to
we had a discussion earlier about whether or not you
how many pillows do you have?
Yes, we had a pillow and a do you sleep with your significant other discussion earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's a lot of pillows. Most of them get thrown off before we even get in. But yet she does all the on-site retail, and we've connected a couple of times today that if they've had to keep people out of the tent, they've had fire marshal in there, those types of things, just because it's so busy out there. And nobody expects to have rain out in the desert too often. So
we got one of our guys that's heading out there. I can think of 3 people right now that will be leaving here and going out there, and it stinks because they will pack them in. That's 100,000 on site daily, and so I can't imagine.
I think they've even gone backwards over the years because they got to where I think Friday, Saturday was 200,000 plus. Yeah,
crazy. All right, now we're gonna say goodbye to you, but we will say hello to you weekly. We've got a prize to give away, but just one more, just as far as the most things to pay attention to. Theplayers.com for tickets, for parking, and all that.
Yeah, I think it's important on tickets and parking. Like most events, we dynamically price our tickets as it gets closer. So we always encourage the local community to get those early. If you have a plan to come, get them now because it's going to be the best price. Now is always going to be the best price. Parking is separate. We were talking a little bit. We have our Nocatee shuttles that are complimentary. So if you don't want to be on A1A, we have downtown shuttles from downtown Jacksonville. We have golf cart parking, bicycle parking, all of those types of things. So players.com/tickets is the best way to go.
Lee, thank you very much. We will see you next weekend, the Gold, man.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Now
Thanks
we've
for
got a
taking it,
giveaway.
man.
We've got a great